Ja Morant missed another pivotal game for the Memphis Grizzlies, thus distancing himself further from the player he could have been, should have been, for what he's eventually become. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk with yours, Kwame Fisher-Jones. As always, I am him. Few stars captivated the league the way Ja Morant did roughly 6 seasons ago. I, along with a litany of fans, couldn't wait to see this dynamic future, what we thought would become a star, take over the league. In history, small dynamic guards from Bob Cousy to Tiny Archibald, the great Isaiah Thomas, two-time champion Isaiah Thomas, to Allen Iverson, Derrick Rose, and a list of other guys whose names I forget at the moment. Ja Morant seemed like he was next in line. But I sit here today, ladies and gentlemen, ready to make a declaration, I guess. I'm out on Ja Morant, man. I'm good. And this has got nothing, let me be clear. This has got nothing to do with the off the court things or the gun gestures, or all the other things that's non-basketball related. This is strictly about the player. And bottom line is it's over for him. And I'm broken. My spirit is broken because I thought he was going to be what Steph Curry was in Golden State. I thought Ja would be for the Memphis Grizzlies. And he's not even close. I saw an interesting stat that kind of blew my mind. In the Memphis Grizzlies wins, Ja Morant averages 22 points a game. In the Memphis Grizzlies losses, Ja Morant averages 22 points a game. So where's the impact on the game that we're seeing? All we're seeing now is a guy that peaked about 3 years ago, looked like he was on his way to an MVP season, was averaging almost 27 points a game, got the Grizzlies to the second round of the playoffs, looked like he was on his way. And since that point, has done nothing but get in trouble, has done nothing but lose games, and has nothing but do more than go from top future star to a comet. I expected, pause. I wanted more than 19 playoff games in 6 years. Think about that. 19 playoff games in 6 seasons. I wanted more than 300 or so basketball games in 6 seasons. I wanted more than 177 wins out of those 304 games in 6 seasons. I wanted more than 22 points a game in 6 seasons. I wanted more than 22 points a game versus the Memphis Grizzlies, versus the Golden State Warriors, one of the top teams in your conference. I wanted more than 22 points a game against the Los Angeles Clippers, another top team in your conference. I wanted more than 24 points a game in what you're putting up against the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 seasons. I wanted you to go from that player that was averaging 27 points a game, that made it to the second round, and done nothing but watch your production slip since then. If Ja Morant plays the final 5 games of this season, this would be the second lowest amount of games he's played in his career, with last season being the lowest. So that means in the 3 seasons since that second round playoff berth, he's given me 9 games, 52 games, and nothing but headaches. And again, this ain't personal. This is business. This is me looking at where you are in your career. And I use the phrase comet and not a star. And I'll explain that more. And it's frustrating because you saw a guy that had so many dynamic moments, and you just assume that would turn into a career. At this point, he's all headlines. And not the headlines you're talking about. I'm talking about the headlines, the clickbait, the things that get you to tune in, and you see a guy that jumps out. 5 games ago, he gave me 44 points in the loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, only to have food poisoning in Detroit. He gives me a game winner in Miami, only to get fined $75K and get food poisoning in Detroit. And now the Memphis Grizzlies are stuck in a position because it's obvious they're not about winning titles, they're about winning games. And he's winning games per se. You're winning games, you're making it to the playoffs, but your season ain't doing anything real. This is what it's all coming down to at this point. And it's obvious. You just have to ask, is good enough not good enough anymore? Is it worth what's the proverbial? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the energy worth the lack of results? I mean, you've gotten as far as you're going to get with Ja Morant, and everyone knows it at this point. He's frustrated, so now what's the first thing you do when your star's frustrated? Your alleged star's frustrated. Fire your coach. Check. So next thing you do, you trade your top second player, top third player to give your team a new feel. It's coming. Jaren Jackson had a great year. I've questioned a guy that's 7 feet tall and gives me 2 rebounds a game, but it is what it is. I've watched a guy on your roster that's supposed to be the future of your franchise. Turnovers go up every year, and scoring go down every year. I've watched your wins go down. I've watched your production go down, and I'm watching your team go down. You're now the team that other teams are looking forward to playing against in the playoffs. You're now everybody wants a turn, including the crash status. Everybody wants a shot at Memphis. And you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a Ja Morant highlight here or there, and you're going to get a win. That's what you're going to get. And at this point, the smoke's cleared. We know what we're doing. And you're rooting for Ja Morant. You're rooting for the moments. You're rooting for the highlight plays and not the wins. You're rooting for a guy that's going to come out and give you a fantastic move, and then the other team's going to win. That's what you're getting with Ja Morant. And the Memphis Grizzlies have, I would say they have a decision to make, but I think they know what that decision is. I think at this point they've realized the inevitable, that they've pissed away a top talent, and now it's just time to get off the pot. That's it for this episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever your podcast platform allows you to do. Until next time, I appreciate your time, and yeah, you be easy.